We are going to talk about Kamwithi Munyi. But since his story is so short, it will force us to talk about Embu. Embu is one of the few languages that I do not speak. In Embu County, we have 3 major tribes. The main one, of which the county is named after, is the Embu. The second is the Mbere, and the third is the Kamba. I'm not sure whether Kamba is number 3 and Embu and Mbere number 2, or vice versa, but I know the major one is Embu, and there has been that tribal thing that has been happening between the 3 tribes. First of all, before I go ahead, as we are speaking now, people are talking of problems in cattle rustling in northwestern, and a blind teacher has been buried. He was blinded in his youth because of cattle rustling. Now they have come and killed him in old age, and people are talking and whatever. Many of our problems we have in Kenya, the solution is very easy. We wrote the reports in 86. People have been writing reports, and the reports keep piling. Why am I associating this with Embu County? You know, where Kalonzo Musyoka comes from, Siekuru, it is on this one side of Tana River. And where Mutava Musyimi comes from is the other side of Tana River. And they are Wakambas both in Mwingi and in Embu Mbere region. Now, if you leave Siekuru and you are going to Embu town, you will go back to Mwingi. From Mwingi, you'll go to Thika. From Thika, you'll take the main highway up to Makutano, then turn off to. Why can't the government just construct a bridge? From Shekuru, you cross over to Embu. And this bridge will not only, it will be a sort of a lap set, because it will have reduced. If you come with the road from Mombasa up to Kitui, Mwingi, you just cross that river. You are in Embu. When you are in Embu, you are either in Karatina or Meru, and you are already in Isiolo. That is the Kenyan government. Solution is very easy. If we build a Dongo Kundu, why don't we build such a across from one Mukamba, who is Kalonzo Musyoka, to the other side of Mutava Musyimi? Gumu. Previously, when Kenya attained independence, of course the largest tribe in the county is the Embu. But 99% of my viewers, especially those who do not come from the area, would be shocked to hear that Jeremiah Nyaga was not an Embu. He was Ambere. But because he was highly educated and he had indulged himself in pre-independence politics, he was a front runner. And being a front runner, I think there was even a time when he represented Central Kenya region, which ran from Embu all the way to Murang'a. So he was there, and he was there posing, impersonating Embus, and so on. Then the Embus brought up their person. They brought up their person, who is the subject of today's discussion. Kamwithi Munyi. If I'm not wrong, he must have been called Ernest Kamwithi Munyi. Fighting for Kano district chairmanship and fighting for district political supremacy was so strong between the two men, and Kamwithi Munyi should be praised for withstanding a heavyweight like Jeremiah Nyaga. Kamwithi Munyi was also cartoonist by nature. What I mean cartoonist by nature is somebody who does not make jokes, but just looking at him, you would just start laughing. He used to have a double-striped suit like those one of Njonjo, and he used to have bulging eyes, and he was heavily built. So I remember in 1972 he was called for an Arambe. He went all the way to Embu in Western, and he was one of the guests. And when it came to the time for donation for that Arambe, he produced an egg. See, that was his. Imagine moving all the way from Embu to Embu and you contribute an egg. The egg was sold. Those who remember those Arambes, I don't see them nowadays, where you even produce a cup, and then there's a cup which is you buy in the shop, let's say 50 shillings, and then it is sold in an auction, a fake auction, and you find somebody buying it at maybe 10 or even 100 times that. He donated an egg which was sold at 49 pounds. 49 pounds. Those days we were slowly moving from counting pounds to shillings. If you count 49 pounds at today's rate, that is around 8,000 shillings. The man used to wear two wristwatches. And when asked, he said he would wear the two so as to check one and again. You know, when the two both say it is this time and whatever, that is how he was. He was an assistant minister in the office of the president in April 1971, when in parliament there were complaints that chiefs, actually that problem we still have it today, but chiefs of today have a solution. Chiefs of today go to school, go to university, get a degree, and when other positions are created, they can be. But my age mates and people who are older than me, when you are employed as a chief, as an assistant chief, you are given some assistant chief, senior assistant chief, and you are not transferred, and you are not. The only promotion you wait is when the chief dies, retires, or resigned, or is jailed. The vacancy comes there. Then you go for an interview with the fellow assistant chiefs in that location, and even those people who do not work, or work elsewhere, who want to be chief. So there was a concern in April 1971 that there was no career progression for chiefs. And he said, no, we promote chiefs. And then he was told to mention the chiefs he had been promoted. He said there is a chief called Joseph Haoya. Chief Joseph Haoya is no longer a chief. There is Chief CJ Kitonga. Then there is Chief SK Arab Choge. And he mentioned a fourth chief. People laughed because the three whom he had named, the fourth one, I've forgotten the name, Haoya, Kitonga, and Choge. Yes, they were chiefs, but they had entered politics and were in the same house as honorable members. So that is how he was. And in 1975, he was made a cabinet minister. There is very little he has done for the country and his people, except being the lone voice of protest by Embus that they were being overruled by Jeremiah Nyaga, who was not an Embu but a Mbere.